All right, another episode of Conversate After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's going great with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversates After Dark. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, you can, let me say that again.
Start off from the top.
Okay. Say your thing. I'm sorry. I got all discombobulated. I don't know why.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Tell people where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversates After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to talk about, you can reach us at cvadthepodcast at gmail.com.
That's right. And go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Tell a friend about the show. So, Tay, do you have an icebreaker today?
I do.
Okay.
Okay. Could you be happy in a relationship if the sex was horrible?
I think the better question is, could I be monogamous if the sex is horrible? um, I would like to say yes, I could at this age. At this age, I could be because I definitely value companionship and good vibes, good energy, all of those things, because that's important. I think as we get older, I don't want to say sex isn't important, but it's not as important. At least not to me. I think that sex is important because it helps you maintain that romantic connection. And without that, y'all are just like really good friends. And I've heard people say that, like they've been married for years and they're just like, yeah, we more like I even heard somebody say, man, we almost like brother and sister now, we just we good friends. I don't even see him that way anymore. But I'm not gonna leave. So I definitely think sex is necessary to keep the romantic connection, to differentiate between just like having just a friend or what have you. But in a relationship, it's a partnership. And what if you get sick? What if, you know, yeah, but if your body just don't work like it used to, how's that going to affect the relationship? So it's important to maintain that connection, but I definitely could be in it and not have good sex. Now, we would definitely probably need to have a discussion on how we can try to meet each other's needs, whether that be adding different stuff from the outside or adding different stuff from the inside into the bedroom. But I think I can make it work. But it would take a lot of open communication and trust and like reassurance. Like, why is the sex bad? Is this because you're not into me? Or is it just that you're not able? Because like I need to validate my feeling and my self-worth. And I also don't want to crush yours by telling you like, hey man, look, your sex ain't shit. So having like a gentle discussion to where we can have an understanding, I think that would all be necessary, but it's possible. I know you like, hell no. Like if Tay comes, she'd be like, man, hell no.
Eh, it depends. Just horrible because we don't have sexual compatibility or we're not willing to make it better. I can't do that. Now, if it was, like you said, if it was some kind of medical emergency where, for whatever reason we couldn't do it, and that's what's making it horrible, that I can deal with because I know what I'm getting into. But just horrible just because it's horrible, no. I don't think I could deal with that. Even if the relationship was great, otherwise, let's just be friends. I mean,
Yeah, because at this age, I don't think anybody is, unless you're like a minister or like deeply into the church, I don't think anybody is going to like get deep into a relationship without going on a test drive. So you're gonna know whether it's good
yeah,
or not.
yeah.
I think they're the only people, and that's why, like, the married, like the ministers and then like people who are like real deep in the church, that's why they like be rushing to get back married again and shit, so that way they can have sex.
Yeah.
You see, what's up, boy that was married to Megan Good?
I was I was thinking about
What's his name?
about
Devon
this.
Franklin. Devon.
Yeah.
Devon Franklin. Like, see, and the thing about it, the good thing is like him and Megan, they both kind of bounced back right around the same time and shit.
Right.
It sucked if you just lonely and then like the person you was with bounced back and you kind of like, damn, man. Like it gotta bother you a little bit, unless it's just like a like abusive, like this terrible relationship. But if y'all just like amicably like, hey man, this ain't gonna work, man. I don't hate you. Let's be done with it. And then all of a sudden you see this motherfucker on social media doing TikTok dances and shit, and you sit and you sit there, with your rose or Pamela, if you're a guy, it gotta suck a little bit.
It depends. I mean,
You ain't never hated on the ex that was man. Me and one of my brothers. And you know how like guys will give each other a hard time and shit.
mhm,
We'll give each other a hard time, but we're still able to be vulnerable with one another. And me and my guy, and him and this girl, they've been broke up for years. And so like we all social media friends. And when I tell you she's on social media living her best life. She got a dude that's making her happy. And they're just doing everything great. Right.
mhm.
So I talked to my boy about it. I said, hey man, I said, your girl, man, that motherfucker glowing, dude. Like and I'm giving him shit, but I'm also allowing him to open up about it. I mean, all these years, like after a while, you got to just let it go. So, I mean, we're
Yeah.
we're just like joking about it, but he came back to me talking about me pining over, somebody I was with, and I was just like, yeah, you right, man. But yeah, I don't know. You ain't ever hated on somebody like your ex and be like, this motherfucker, she must have been there the whole time. How you bounce back that quick?
No, because I can't think of anybody that I mean, yeah, not like that. Um, maybe after my first relationship, maybe, but no, because it's like once I'm done, or once I know that the relationship is over, I I'm good. I don't need to hate on you for moving on because that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, definitely. If you are still angry or feeling some type, I don't think it's bad if you feel some type of way about seeing them with somebody else. I think that's just natural. I think jealousy is a natural emotion. I think it's just how you process it.
Hmm.
Do you like become like a stalker because of it? Do you become violent? Do you become a hater? That's when it's negative. But if you just like, damn, I seen her with a boy, and man, I'm kind of in my feelings about the shit. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially if like the feelings that you have for that person were genuine.
I mean, yeah, maybe that's why it doesn't affect me like that because I very rarely um have felt jealousy. It's usually like I've always said, usually when I feel jealous about something, I've learned later that that was my intuition telling me that something was really wrong. So if the relationship is over, I'm good.
Because don't nothing make a dude more unhappy than to see another motherfucker making his girl laugh. You might be able to get over her and letting him hit, but like, like that man, if she cracking up and you know how y'all be when motherfucker make you laugh, y'all be and all this shit.
Oh
You know what I'm
God.
saying? Like, man,
Like Juju was with
yeah, like,
with JD.
hey man, that motherfucker ain't that funny. So cut it out. That's enough. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I thought about that like with Jonathan Majors and Megan Good and people I know people want to hate on that situation just because of that situation he had with the snow bunny.
Hmm.
And they're looking at Megan as like a rebound chick, and people are just like waiting for him to mess it up. And I don't think that's necessarily 100% fair to him because if he's putting his hands on her, right, then that's an issue. That's,
Hmm.
that's an issue. And people have said it's a pattern with him. I hope that's not the case. But I do think people can change. You might have been physical with women, then you be like, man, I don't want to be that type of person. And you want to change. But and this is one of the rare instances where I agreed with Charlemagne the God. He was like, I don't think people should really. be held accountable for like their worst moments in
Right.
life. Like if you kill somebody or you like do something like really fucked up to somebody, then yeah, you need to be held accountable for that in a major way. But if it's just like, hey, in the heat of the moment, some shit happened, like I think we can give people a little bit of grace.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, because we all make mistakes and we want people to forgive us, so we need to practice that in reverse too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Tay, you don't get jealous, huh?
Like I said, the times when I've been jealous of something or someone, I later on found out that that was really my intuition saying something ain't right with this. So it hasn't been that many times. I remember my first boyfriend in college trying to make me jealous, and it was something he did, and I was just like, okay. And he was like, "You weren't jealous of what I know." And I thought about it. I was like, "Were you trying to make me jealous?" He was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yeah." I don't, it's always been like that.
I don't understand trying to make somebody jealous. That
Yeah.
that just don't make sense to me. Because if that's the case, you're really not over that person. They still got
Well,
power.
this wasn't somebody he was involved with. It was like him, like flirting with people, like in front of, like he was trying to play that game, but he only did that one time. It
He
didn't.
wasn't, he
But
wasn't,
not
he wasn't to
say
get
that again.
he wasn't to get fucked up. That's what he wasn't to get. Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I've been told, well, not I've been told, I am very nonchalant. So, and I have had people say they've done stuff to try to get some kind of reaction out of me. Maybe I think that was um, his thinking behind it, but it didn't work. But also with that, if I really know that somebody is into me and I really trust their feelings, then I trust in that until you give me a reason not to. And with him, that dude loved me. So I had no reason to doubt it.
But you got a secure attachment style. And
I had insecure attachments.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, we've talked about that when we the book club when we read that book. I am an avoidant attached person, but that has come with disappointment, and it's not just romantic relationships. That's how I am with relationships, period. And that has come with from disappointments and hurts from friendships and relationships over the years. So yeah, I am a avoidant attached style. But when we read that book and I was reading it, and I was like, I used to be this way. When they described the secure attachment, I was like, I used to be this way. I want to get back to this. I loved me in this way, but
But I kind of think like to me, the secure and the avoidant, like it's real easy. Like there's a blurry line between the two, in
Mhm,
my personal opinion. Um, because I thought that I was avoidant when we took the test and we were reading the book. And that book, the book we're talking about is called Attached, right? It's called Attached.
mhm,
Definitely, if you have not read it, you need to, especially if you're in a relationship, want to be in a relationship, y'all should read it and discuss it together. I personally feel like it's a really powerful book. And I really don't be promoting books by people that don't look like us. But that one right there, like
the
definitely.
light skin. I'm
Okay,
just
all right, Tay, all right, all right, all right. But that book was triggering as fuck. Especially
Mhm,
if you've been in some real deal relationships, because like it goes through those scenarios. And I'm just like, ah, I remember when she did this, and I remember, and, so you're processing all those things. And I remember thinking that I was avoidant. And just because where I was at the time of my life. Um,
mhm,
so the test it said secure. And I could see how those two, like you could just easily go from one to the other. But
mhm,
um I think the test probably got it a little bit wrong because like my cousin called me out and there's what do they call it? De-escalation strategies.
mhm.
I know that I do that.
Okay.
I know that I can be somewhat passive aggressive and I do that to try to keep people not I don't want you liking me too much. I don't want you into me too much. I want
Mhm,
you into me. I want us to be able to kick it. I want us to love our time with one another, but don't get into me too much because when you get into me too much, then I got to worry about your feelings. And then when I do my whole shit, when I'm Mr. Pisces, right? But I missed, and I can finally embrace Pisces as some toxic motherfuckers, man. We are because like we want like my ex wife and my kids, they had a dog, and the dog name was Gucci. And you know how they talk about how like I don't like dogs, this is the only dog I love. Shout out to Gucci, rest in peace, Gucci. You know how they say like the dog will take on the owner's personality and shit.
Hmm.
Gucci was like me 1,000%. Like Gucci want to be in the room with you, but like don't touch me, right? I want to see where you at, but don't fuck with me, right? Like I don't want you out in these streets. You go out in these streets, you leave the house, I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna whine, I'm gonna lose my shit. But when you come home, I'm gonna show you some love for a little bit. But then, all right, you going in your room, and this long as I, you ever had somebody like that tell you ain't never mess with the Pisces though, have you?
No, no.
You might not be able to.
The only Pisces that I know like that is my nephew, and he's a kid. So yeah, I've never dated, at least not long term, but Pisces.
I don't know. I would like to say that you should because like we fun. When it's time to have fun, we fun.
Okay.
But just based off our friendship, the
Hmm.
the other shit that comes with Pisces, I don't think you would have much tolerance for it.
Yeah, because it's like when I hear the Pisces and the Cancers, when people talk about their traits and stuff, and they always talk about that emotional piece, and I'm like, I would not be able to to deal with that.
Yeah,
Like,
that would be toxic because like it's almost like Pisces had that built-in like anxious attachment where it's like you got to let me know how you feeling about me, and I'm either going to what they call in the book protest behavior. I'm gonna do some shit to try
mhm.
to make you mad. Cause like you talking about like making somebody, cause I do that shit to you. We just friends. Like I do shit and I hate when people do that to me. So I don't know why I do it to you. I kind of stopped because like when you lashed out a couple of times, I was like, oh, I ain't like that. But I hate because
See, that's what I'm saying. People try to get reactions out of me. That's
right, right. Well, I mean, because you quiet, um, and like maybe it's like I'm trying to get her to open up or what have you. It's not like you don't like we do the fucking show together and you talk and whatever, but in a general setting, you just gonna chill out. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I hate it when people do because I'm gonna take the bait. Like you said, like, hey, try to make me jealous or whatever. I have to really like fight and be like, don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Cause like even my kids will do the shit. They'll say some shit like I'd be like, you ain't do this, right? Like being dad. And they be like, yeah, I did. And then so like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? You was raised better than that. So they let me go through the whole spiel and they be like, I was just lying. I just want to see what you was gonna say.
See, I think my father got me out of some of this stuff because growing up, and not even just growing up, even as an adult, he would try to make me feel guilty about stuff. And so, I mean, and that was his way to pick with me. 'Cause my father was a comedian, so he was always trying to pick with you, make you laugh, and trying to get a rise out of you. And I think dealing with a father like that, I kind of got numb to it. So when people try to make me feel guilty. It ain't gonna work.
I don't ever feel guilty about shit. Only time I feel guilty is like if I hurt somebody's feelings. And I
Hmm.
that like uh if I felt like I was like being a bully in some type of way or just being like a not good person, that's the only shit that I ever feel guilty about. But I don't, whatever crime I've done in the past, I don't feel guilty about it. Whatever chick I cheated on, I might feel guilty when I got in my car. But as soon as I turned on the radio and I was driving home, I forgot about that shit. I was
Oh.
good. Yeah, you driving home. Yeah, you remember back in the day, just something else they don't do unless you go to like a small town. You remember back in the day, like you knew you was out way too late if the church music was on, like on a Saturday night, like because like well, you grew up in a bigger city. In the
Yeah, I'm
smaller cities,
saying.
in the smaller cities, you normally had like one radio station, black radio station, and it was like one size fits all. So throughout the day, we play like R&B. Then as rap, hip hop became more, then they started mixing it or whatever. And then nighttime would be the Quiet Storm. And then they'd have the morning show, but then on the weekends, it would be like they have different type of programming. So they would have like the syndicated shows, like Doug Banks or whoever, like the different like Tom Joyner had a syndicate like a weekend syndicated show. So they
Mhm.
play the syndicated shows. And then like where I'm from, Kansas City radio station, they would have like a jazz hour because Casey's known for jazz. But on Sunday morning, all that goes away. Sunday morning, they're playing gospel music.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had to before we had because we have an FM station now that's dedicated to gospel.
Yeah.
But before that, we did. There were two or three stations that would play gospel in the morning.
And that's why I say, like, if you driving home and they didn't play the gospel music, like you come home right before nine, you've been out way too late. Doing wrong. How we get to talk about that shit? Oh, driving home feeling guilty. Forgive me, Lord. Because I don't feel guilty. You feel guilty? You said you ain't never cheated though, right? Or you only cheated one time.
And well, my first boyfriend, I did. And I didn't feel guilty at the time, but afterwards I did. Well, and that's why that's what made me get to the I'm not going to lie about it anymore. It is what it is. If I feel like I don't want to be with somebody, I'm just not going to be with them. I don't want to cheat. I don't want to lie. I don't like it. It feels horrible. So
Well, I already showed that I'm a terrible person on this show, but I I got into the now just because like I don't feel like lying. I'm lazy. Like I don't. Never mind. I'm already saying too much. Yeah, they're gonna be like, black men don't cheat, and you're right. I don't cheat no more, Tay. I'm
okay,
done with it. I'm done with cheating. Like I'm just don't ask me a question. What's the military say? Don't ask, don't tell.
okay,
That's where that goes. That's where that goes. Hey, you've been. Never mind, I ain't gonna ask that question. Yeah, I'll talk about me,
okay.
boy. And listen, I'm up here talking about not feeling guilty and shit. But when you get cheated on as a dude, oh man, that shit. Look, there's two things we don't handle well. You know how like it's a joke. You know how like when your man gets sick, like we get
Hmm.
cold or whatever, like we down, like we out. We want y'all to baby us and all that other shit, right? That's one thing. And then number two, when your girl cheat on you, man, damn, it don't nothing hurt. Listen, that's that hurt right there. That's that hurt. What Ghostface Killer said, you don't get him back like that. And I may have been out in the street just doing all kind of dirt. That don't mean you do it.
I'm all about reciprocation. So if we go in there, we go in there. Then let's just open it up. Because I'm not going to be the only person being faithful in a relationship.
Man,
Let's just open it up.
I remember this chick cheated on me and did me all the way dirty. Like all the way dirty. And I called my mama. This is how bad it was. I called my mama crying. I called my mama. It was just like, mama, like she ain't shit. And my mama was real cold hearted with it.
Hmm.
Real cold hearted at this time. She's very loving, but at this time, she's very and man, I'm listen, shout out to my mama, rest in peace. But she was just like, I was like, man, she did this and she did that. And every response, she was like, you be all right. And I'm like, huh? Like first time, I was like, what? And I said, no, mama, then, I found out that she was doing this and everybody you knew but me. And I was like, you be okay. And so finally I had to be like, it's like, damn, mama, why you being so damn cold to me? Like, I don't really appreciate this.
Yeah.
She told me the realest shit ever. She said, it's not my job to tell you what you want to hear. I have to tell you what you need to hear. And she told me that, and I said, whatever, mom. I lived in a different city. So if I had been with her, she probably would slap the shit out of me, even though I was grown. I was like, whatever,
Right.
mama. Whatever, mama. Got off the phone. Man, I'm playing blues all night, couldn't sleep, beside myself, crying and shit. Then when I finally woke up, I thought about it. I called my mama back. I said, you know what, mama, you was right.
Hmm.
Now, that didn't stop the hurt or the healing process, but at
Yeah.
least put it into perspective. Like, man, you gotta have some pride about your shit.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, That is true. You will get over, it. And that's that's not like the type of advice I would give. I was about to ask what was your mother's sign.
Oh, my mom used to say that she was a Virgo, but then,
That tracks.
but she's not a Virgo though.
Oh, okay.
So her birthday was September 25th. So I think technically that makes her
Oh,
a Libra, right?
yeah, yeah.
So was it the 24th or 23rd is like the cutoff? You know, sometimes people like on the border,
Hmm.
maybe share some traits or whatever. But she used to be like, I'm a Virgo, I'm a Virgo. And I was like, did they change the damn horoscope calendar, mama? Or you just want to? She's like, fuck them Libras. I don't want to be down with them. I'm with the Virgos.
I was like, if she was a Libra, I mean, a Virgo, that would track. But you said she was a Libra. I don't know. I don't actually don't know much about Libras either. Even though
Virgos.
that's my rising, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know about all that shit. That's what did it say? I'm a Pisces with a Scorpio moon and a Virgo. Okay, man.
Yeah, I'm
Listen,
a Capricorn with an Aquarius moon and like I said, a Libra rising. But I don't know what any of that means. I know that
somebody inbox asked conversation that says you really fucked up.
that's what I'm saying.
Because a Capricorn and an
Actually,
Aquarius, because you know the
exactly.
Aquarius be different.
Emotionally, I have nothing for you.
Dude, that's the Capricorn and Aquarius. Oh my God. I think the only thing that would make like had you been like a Scorpio, like throw Scorpio in there, you'd be like probably fucking serial killer or sociopath or something. They put
Actually, I
that
was supposed to be a Scorpio.
they put that Libra in there just to kind of, even you out a little bit. You're like,
Actually, if I was born on my due date, I would have been a Scorpio, which is crazy.
which means we would not have this show. I've never, no, I've had my fill. I'm done. Only Scorpio I'm fucking with is my son. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. You know. But I was talking about that healing process.
Hmm.
I even think like we heal differently. Like I know that when I was wounded in a relationship, man, I hit the gym. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, I gotta try to get fine. I'm in the gym, hitting it hard and shit. I'm thinking about, okay, that bitch, I'm gonna show her. She gonna see me out. And I'm gonna be looking like this, like, yeah, this is what you had and shit. I'm doing all that, doing all, you be talking to yourself in your head. I don't know if you talk to
Hmm.
yourself, but I talk to myself in my head. Don't try to commit me no shit. But I'm in the gym, whatever, and my boys, they checking on me and all that type of stuff. But I think it hits us harder because it hits us later. Unless you're one of them people that like jump from relationship to relationship. Like I feel like you all, generally speaking, 'cause I know how you feel about that. You all like kind of grieve the relationship leading up to saying fuck it's over, right? I think like we'll like drag it out. And number one, that's why we don't really leave. We're just like, man, I'm just gonna hang around. I saw somebody say on social media, like, you got to be a real, real fucked up chick for a dude to break up with you. Cause like they don't break up with nobody. Cause we don't. Like, we might self-sabotage. Like, I know I'll self-sabotage. I'll,
Hmm.
I'll do some shit to piss you off and be like, I'm over. That way I ain't be the one to break up. But like it'll hit you later on when you ain't got nobody. And you're like, damn, man.
But I don't think grieving later makes it less hard, or I don't
I
think
think
that
it makes it
lessens.
harder, Tay. I think it
I
it hits
I
hard.
I don't think you can judge how bad somebody feels when they break up. I don't think you can do that based on gender at all. Whether it's right there when it happens, and every breakup is not the woman doing the breakup. There are breakups happen
Yeah,
where the man does, I mean, it can
yeah,
go
yeah.
both ways. So you can't. I don't think you can judge just because somebody breaks it comes because somebody grieves the relationship now versus later that it's not the same type of hurt,
Okay,
the same depth of hurt.
okay, I can understand that. But I do think that we heal differently, though.
That I can agree with.
I think we heal like how do you think women normally heal? Here, let me give my guess, right? You might hit the gym, right? You your girls who you may have become distant with or whatever. Y'all going out, y'all hitting the streets. You may go through a little hoe phase or whatever. You might become a slight alcoholic because you're drinking wine more and shit like that. I'm doing all kinds of generalizations. I know.
Yeah.
And whereas with us, like I said, we'll hit the gym, we'll hang out with the fellas, and we probably are, gonna try to find somebody to get on top of to get over.
You do realize you just described the same situations.
I did because I
Yes,
kind
you
of
did.
I
That's why I
did.
don't believe in all this gender stuff. People do the same type of stuff to get over stuff. People do the same thing.
I
And
don't
I
think we go to
actually
drinking though. I do think y'all motherfuckers get on that wine though. I know how.
I don't drink like that by myself, so that's not something I do.
Okay.
Um, and guys will drink too. I know a lot of male alcoholics who don't want to who don't want to admit they're alcoholics and it started with a relationship. I mean,
You got a
so
point.
I mean, but what I do think is true with both genders is that I don't think people actually heal when they move on.
You don't think so?
Not all the time. I think a lot of people, and I'm just here's me generalizing. I do think a lot of people tend to move on before they're actually ready, before they've actually dealt with whatever happened in the past relationship. I that's just which is how you get a hurt person going into another relationship hurting the next person or dumping whatever they dealt with in the past on that new person. That's how you
Oh,
kind of get that.
I've been guilty of that. I messed up good relationships, and I came close to messing up a good relationship at the time, not being over the shit that happened to me.
Hmm.
Uh, I would say this though, and a friend of mine made a real good point about this. You are correct that people may jump into a new relationship too soon and not have worked on the stuff that they need to heal. Um, but I think as you go along the healing journey, because I don't think it's a destination, it's a journey. And I've learned that
Hmm.
with my last, with my marriage and getting divorced, there's times where I'd be like, man, I'm good. And then like I'll realize that I'm doing a certain thing, and then I'll be like, yeah, I ain't all the way good. I mean, I'm not like devastated, but I'm not healed. And I think
Hmm.
to my friend's point, where I started at is you get to a point where you find out, okay, this is what I need to address. You develop those tools that you need, but eventually you got to find somebody to practice the shit with.
Yeah.
So, how do I employ this stuff? If I'm anxious, how do I like, hey, okay, how do I talk to my partner and say, hey man, I need that reassurance that you love me and that we good. Like whatever it is that you have, eventually you're gonna have to learn how to do that in another relationship. So it just goes back to say my point is that healing is a journey, not just a destination.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
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 I
How
do still think that a lot of people, men and women, will move on faster than before that journey has even begun.
is that a
But
bad thing?
it can be because if you're a toxic person and you're just jumping from one relationship to the next, or I've heard a lot of guys say that first relationship, the woman messed them up. So they want to treat all women a certain way because that first relationship, did something to them. That's not good. That's something you
That's
have
a
to heal from.
very immature mindset though. Like
It is, but
I
I've
find
heard a
that our
lot
age
of
still talk
guys
about
say
it.
that over the years.
I mean, that I could see maybe a dude in high school or college
I
doing
mean, that's usually when the first one happens.
yeah.
But what I'm saying is that that mindset kind of I'm gonna start treating women a certain way
Mhm.
usually comes from, whatever happens with that first relationship.
And I listen, I'd have been done dirty by some chicks and like real bad. And I think may a good number of us have had a relationship where it's just like, damn man, like you did me like that. Um, but I never got to a point where I was like, I'm going to intentionally be a fucked up person to somebody else.
Hmm.
I think if somebody is like willing to verbalize that and say that, I would stay away from that person because like something is like you got to be wrong to be like I'm gonna intentionally try to screw with somebody emotionally or whatever. Now I can see like I'm guarded. I'm not gonna open up. I'm gonna protect my heart. Now if you're saying shit like that, I
Hmm.
understand it, but you need to work to get past that so you can enjoy life and love fully. But if you just out here like, man, bitches ain't shit because this one chick did this to me and I'm gonna wreak hell on everybody and create all these bitter chicks that can't nobody understand, you just a fuck boy, bro. You a fuck
Yeah.
boy and you out here causing the community harm.
I think that's where you get the red pill society from. Because I was in a relationship. I always talk about this toxic relationship I was in. But once we got to the end and like he started pouring all this stuff out on me, I realized that he was he was projecting a lot of his past onto me and having that I'm gonna get her before she gets me mentality. Like, and even now we're not friends, but we're social media friends, and he'll send me clips. I mean, he'll send, people send reels and memes and stuff, and some of them will be funny, and then some of them, I'm like, you still in that red pill mindset. It wasn't called a red pill back then, but that's that type of mindset he has.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big segment of that society. And then also, that a lot of that is not just women. I'm gonna do women dirty or I gotta be skeptical or cautious of women. Um, a lot of that shit too is like white supremacists too. Cause you notice
Hmm.
it's always American black women ain't shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go be a passport bro or get you a white girl. We got to call it the racism when it comes to that as well.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. So man, so we got to going on this, and I forgot to bring up what I wanted to bring up in terms of I was thinking about it, and their president, not our president, his cabinet, they in trouble because they've been passing national security secrets on an app when they definitely shouldn't have been doing that, right? So
Right.
all the things they've been talking about has been on the news and everything else. But have you ever sent somebody a text message that wasn't intended for them and like low key incriminated yourself?
I haven't. But I think that's
You
because
such a fucking goody two shoes.
no, 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 no. It's not that. It's because I'm low key paranoid. So I double check, and that's because like I remember when Facebook groups first started, and I remember thinking I was sending stuff in the group and putting it on my regular page. I'd be like, oh, when you find out, it's like, okay, this was not supposed to go to the public. And so that just put this paranoia in me. Now I have received stuff that was not supposed to be for me, but it wasn't from somebody I was in a relationship with though.
So I've received things. Oh, my ex-wife was bad with it. Like for whatever reason, she just moving too fast and we be having a spicy conversation
Hmm.
and she's sending it to the group chat with the kids.
Oh,
And I'm embarrassed for her. I'm like, oh no, why did you do that? I'm embarrassed for them. I'm embarrassed for her, for me. And she had that type of personality. She said, oh, guess y'all caught us, or what have you. And like the kids was like mortified. They just didn't respond. Like,
yeah.
oh my God. So I definitely have done, and I definitely have it. And it's a good thing that I was on my non-monogamy journey because I had my Mac game going with two at the same time. And I sent one, and as soon as I sent it, she was like, huh? And it was so, I was just like, yeah, I can't even lie about that one. And then she said, I'm going to say it right. And I said, yeah, go ahead and say it. And she was like, wrong bitch.
You know how I've kind of dealt with that because I'm the type of person who believes that if you're not in a monogamous relationship or y'all have had the conversation um to be exclusive, is you should date however many people you want to date. So how I've gotten around certain faux pas is to kind of have similar conversations with people. So that way,
You a
and
sneaky motherfucker.
and I don't delete anything. So I remember when like social media first started and just getting DMs and sending DMs back and forth. Sometimes I might forget what I say. So I don't delete anything anymore. So that way I have the whole conversation. So I know who I said what to and what I'm supposed to be responding to and stuff like that.
But social media taught me real quick, don't say shit that you ain't willing to stand on. Because motherfuckers
True, that
will
too.
screenshot your shit. And thankfully, back when I was a cheater, the motherfuckers who I was with, they had a little bit of morals to them. They didn't want to hurt me like that. But like, I remember asking the chick, like, hey, delete these messages. She like, no. I was like, nah, man, this so we safe. She was like, I'm not deleting shit. I don't. And I remember we had like a little low key argument about it because I realized that, hey, like, if she wanted to, she could fuck my whole shit up if she wanted to.
Hmm.
And that just made you just had to move different with that social media. Like, you
Yeah.
can't, like, you. I know dudes got their page locked down, meaning that you can't tag me that you was here with me at this location because chicks will do some shit like that because
Yeah.
they know how other chicks think. And I remember being like, we weren't even doing shit. I was out to lunch with this chick. I wasn't supposed to be out to lunch with her, but we wasn't doing anything. And she was like, she was posting, she was tagging herself at the restaurant. She was like, I should put that I'm here with you. And I was like, you gonna have a big fucking problem if you do that. She was like, I know, I'm
Yeah.
just playing. But I
Yeah.
I actually had somebody do that to me. And it
Hmm.
was completely innocent. I was living in Nebraska at the time. And I used to, I got certain things that I clown. And Raising Cane's is one of them. That's just terrible. Overrated. It's not as I won't say terrible, but it's definitely overrated. It ain't Arby's. Arby's is fucking terrible.
I
But
like
what?
I like Arby's.
Right. You don't never see nobody at the Arby's parking lot. Raising Cane's got they shit packed. You know what I mean? But Arby's, you may have two or three cars in the motherfucker that's in the kitchen at the register. But anyway. So she posted on her Facebook page, I'm at Raising Cane's. And she put that she was with me. She like tagged me on her post. And this is before like cats had like the privacy shit figured out. So it's like, hey, you tag me on something, it comes to me first so I can approve
Hmm.
it. Because, you know, everybody got the hater in their crew and like they'll post a picture where they look good, but you got a bad angle and shit. Like, nah, man,
Yeah.
don't post because you look good. You got me looking all fucked up. So,
Right.
like shit like that or stuff like I just don't want on my page. But like this was before then. And I was just chilling, man. All of a sudden, man, my wife came in and was like, man, you ain't shit, man. You out with this chick doing blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what? I was like, I ain't got no damn Raising Canes. And then, like, finally she showed it to me. And I was like, I was trying to explain it to her. I was like, no, that's not what that's about. And she was like, nah, you lying, you lying. So finally I thought about it. And I said, click the location, look and see what the location is where she's at. And it pulled
Hmm.
up like Arlington, Texas. And I was like,
Okay.
she was just being funny. And she was like, oh, okay. Tell that bitch she ain't that funny. Yeah, but no, I definitely understand. Lord, yeah, I've done that. And I got to be real careful because, like, my phone always going off take. And
Hmm.
like my phone is out is how I do business and private and personal stuff. So like my biggest fear and where I'm real careful is texting people.
Hmm.
I remember like, because like we a little bit older, we use a group me. Some of my
Oh yeah.
crew was like we use group me. And my work crew was like, hey, we got a group me, we're gonna add you to it. I wouldn't even add it. Because in some of those guy chats, we be sharing some shit. And
Hmm.
I might be moving too fast. Next thing you know, I just sent Pinky and Cherokee the ass to my motherfucking work group. And now I'm unemployed. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it. Not doing it. But I,
Wow.
but I, but I got to would you or wouldn't you, okay?
Okay.
You're dating somebody new and they ask you, can y'all make a tape? Can y'all record y'all session? But because y'all open, y'all don't share any secrets, that he's got a catalog of tapes that he's had with other people. With other people, would you or wouldn't you agree to making a tape with him, knowing that if he ain't gonna put you on the internet, he ain't gonna show his boys, but might show the next chick that he
Um, I've always been no cameras, but unless unless it was my camera. But in a new relationship, see, I always assume people got stuff in there from past people anyway. But as long as my face not shown and none of my tattoos, which is hard to do because my tattoos are in places where they can't be shown. So, or they can't be, most of them can't be shown.
can't be hid.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah. So if I don't have any clothes on, it's hard to hide them. So yeah, that's kind of hard to do.
Oh, I had a homegirl. Look, I swear. And she might have gaslighted me now that I think about it. She got a tattoo like right here, right? Like right by the collarbone.
Hmm.
And you know, I found like this flick. It was still shots. It was still kind of early. Now you could just get porn on social media. Like now on my damn algorithm, they're posting like a post and they have like a bunch of emojis covering up. Then you go to the first comment and you click it and you can see a little whatever, which is a good replacement for Twitter. Because Twitter used to have all the good shit. First it was
I
Tumblr.
heard.
Did you have Tumblr?
I did see some stuff on Tumblr. Yes.
Tumblr has some shit when it came to the porn game, for real, for real. Then they shut that down. Then Twitter took it over. Then President Elon came, and yeah, we had to delete that shit. But so now they kind of got it off on Facebook. Why was I talking about this? But so I get like some still shots, and the chick looked just like my homegirl, and I see like the tattoo and shit, but it's still kind of grainy or whatever. Like we ain't
Hmm.
like now. It was still a little bit grainy. And so I was like, hey, how you doing? She's like, hey, I'm all right. And I was like, hey, I don't try to offend you, but I done found some shit. Let me send this to you. She was like, yeah, damn, that does look like me. And I was like, okay, that's not you? No, that ain't me. That ain't me. Now I think about it, she probably just ran some game on me because like, what's the likelihood of you having like, and I'm not talking about just the same location, the same type of tattoo and
Yeah.
everything. And I was just like, oh man. And we was younger though, because like probably now, like, would you really like? I don't know if you got any tapes out there or whatever, but at this age, would you be upset if somebody that you didn't intend to see your tape saw your tape?
Yeah, I would be upset because if it was meant for one person, then that's who it should be for.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
sent
don't care how long ago it was.
I sent a nude to the chick. I told you I sent a nude to the chick, and she was like, "Yeah, it's in the group chat." I said, "Well, damn, I sent that shit to you," and she was like, "Once you send it to me, it's mine. I'll do with it what I want to do with it." I was
Yeah,
like,
I don't do that. I did show one once, but other than that, I haven't done
"Man, I did it accidentally. Did it, and thankfully the camera skills was fucked up."
it.
So we talk about porn and shit. So you remember how like back in the day, you either had to like stay up late and watch Skinemax, or go to like a porn shop. Like porn shops can't even be open no more. Cause like you remember like I don't know about you because you're goody two shoes. But back then, they had like the blockbuster movies and the Hollywood movies. They
Mm-hmm.
had the straight smut shops. You go in there and you can you pick your porn out, check it out, and all that old shit, right?
Yeah.
Straight smut. Well, when it got to the point where you could start, Napster and shit, and people could start downloading their stuff,
Yeah.
like sharing DVDs and stuff. So like me and my homeboy, we had like a little damn, how like DJs have like record pools. We had
Mm-hmm.
like a damn porno pool. So like we would ship shit to each other, whatever. And I accidentally sent the one with me and my gal.
Oh no.
And he was like, Dad, what the fuck did you send me? I said, "What?" He said, all of a sudden I put in the tape and I see you walking in the door. And when I finally figured out it was you, I was like, oh no, he ain't mean to send this to me. I was like, that motherfucker, you watch the shit. I know you did.
Right.
And it was my gal too. So
Yeah.
that had it been like somebody I wasn't serious about, it'd still be fucked up. But I wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
like, damn dog, why you watch my girl and shit. But like this was my girl. And I was like, hey bro, throw that away, man. Just throw it away. And then I realized, like, dude, you got to be way more careful because you said
Yeah. And that's why I'm paranoid about text messages, videos, all of that stuff getting in the wrong hands. I double check every text message I send if it's that type of text message.
and that's why we need everybody to be on Apple. Because on Apple, you can unsend and edit. But it's you motherfuckers with these green bubbles that we can't edit shit. And that's why I'm not dating nobody with a green bubble.
Oh gosh.
Look. After this show, everybody who listens is gonna be like, man, that dude Marv is not shit, man.
Hmm.
Now you
Would
know.
they be wrong?
I'm getting better today.
Okay.
When we say healing is a journey.
Right.
Anyway, tell people they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at cvadthepodcast at gmail.com. Make sure you like this video, share it, subscribe, and leave us a comment.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to our past episodes. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Bye.